Hey guys, Jamie Otis of the Chef's Connection here. Vikas Khanna is an award-winning Indian chef and the host of the TV show MasterChef India. I'm sitting right inside his famous restaurant Janoon, and we've got ourselves a reservation with Chef Vikas. Sitting here with Chef Vikas, and what you don't know about him is that he's a master of all trades. Not only is he a chef, but he's also a filmmaker, he's an author, he's a worldwide traveler, and he is friends with the Dalai Lama.
Okay, hi. I think it's, I don't know if there's so many tags I carry, but I feel that food is one thing which is central in my life. It's been the food which has unified my own soul to the people. I think it's about the food. So anything what I do is in turn connected to food.
And is that because food brings people together? It's the one thing that, everyone has in common.
I was born and raised in Amritsar, which is a northern city in India. And we have a Sikh shrine right across the street, just like 5 minutes from my house, where they have a community kitchen. So I literally learned how to roll breads there, to cook there. And it was like they feed thousands upon thousands of people every day. So food became an expression for me of unity. And I think that is what I still continue in my every thread of every work I do.
So you're saying a community kitchen, as in everyone from the community comes, they cook, and then you all share the dishes?
Absolutely. It's a huge thing. It's called langar, which is then the largest community kitchen. Some days on like holidays, they serve up to approximately 1 million people a day.
Oh my goodness.
And this is all like totally, everyone's a volunteer. And I think that is something which gave me interest in the food industry. I was too young, and I said that food is something which actually brings a lot of people together. Not just that, but food defines us. How we share, how we collectively work, and how we behave becomes our civilization.
And how did you learn how to cook? Is it there in the community kitchen?
My grandmother.
Yeah.
I still say that if it was not for her, I would never be in the kitchen. It's like she taught me the simple rules of cooking, but more than that, she taught me the meaning of food.
Oh, that's so nice. Now, this book we have is coming out just this week, and it's absolutely amazing, with the foreword by His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Yes. I think the book was initiated by him. I still remember it's a work of love. It's like literally giving birth to a child when your book is born. And I still remember the day when Purnima was a restaurant which I did with Gordon Ramsay for Kitchen Nightmares. It had just closed. And same time I get an invitation to meet His Holiness by a friend. So I go and meet him, and I'm talking to him. He said, "What do you do?" I said, "I have a restaurant which just closed." And he says, "It never closes. It just changes the form."
I mean, everything he says.
and see what he created. After a few years, we gave birth to Janoon, and we have so much of work. But every time I see His Holiness, I keep telling him that if it was not for you that day telling me that it's just the beginning of something else, and it's like a river. The name came from him, actually. You think life is like a river, You have water which comes and feeds the civilization, and then the water follows a new cycle, and then back to ice and back to rivers. So he said that, and I said, "Oh my God, return to the rivers." And I know it's a very offbeat title for a cookbook, Return to the Rivers, because I said, I'm following the rivers of the Himalayas. I'm not going to say Himalayas. How do you say that?
Himalayas.
Himalayas. No, it's a Sanskrit word. Now I'm going to teach you one word to speak. It's Himalayas.
Himalayas. We got that now.
However, we say, I think that I focused on the countries and the cultures between India and China, and they were pure, they were organic, they were absolutely unpretentious. It was the beauty of the supremacy of the culture was simplicity.
And I feel like you really showed that through your book, that it's not pretentious. These pictures are all taken by you, which is phenomenal. They're literally everything that they see in this book. You've experienced, you've lived, you've had to eat, you've breathed, you've enjoyed, and you've shared with others.
And work in the kitchens. One thing which was very important, by my third meeting with His Holiness, I went for a meditation with him in Bodh Gaya, the place where Buddha was enlightened. So during this meditation session, I'm talking to him about the book, and he's saying, "How's it coming along?" I said, I went to all these places and everything. And one thing which is so heartbreaking is that, as we are becoming more global society, we're becoming extremely polarized. One thing which we are going to miss out is those small stories of cultures, because with one generation, if it dies out, it just feels it's lost. Yeah. So I said, I talk about those months. And I remember there was one story in this that, I'm traveling to Pokhara. It's a beautiful valley of flowers in Nepal. And I'm traveling from Kathmandu, and this woman knocks at my window, says, "Can you please give this to my son?" I said, "No, I can't." Like, what? Like, like, this is 1993. And I said, "Okay, how does your son look like?" There was no cell phones, nothing. He's saying, "Oh, he's a tall guy, very good looking, he's dusky." And I said, "Okay, that fits in all the people in this country."
Are you describing me?
And I talk about that, me holding that thing. And she had also given a hand knit sweater for her grandchild. She was a labor who was working in near Kathmandu, and her family was in Pokhara. And all this way, it was so warm, that hand knit sweater, that we don't have that anymore, The grandmothers used to make, and they were not perfect. That was the beauty of them, Sometimes you feel that the lines are not, because it's hand, it's hard.
Like cozy and
It keeps
love.
you warm in the coldest winters. And I talk about that, and I think, and when I went and shared it with them, and the guy is there, and he recognizes me, of course, with the tiffin, and he says, "My mom sent it to you." I said, "Yeah." He's saying, "Oh, you can't go without eating." So I go to the house, and I eat with the whole family, and that chicken tasted so good, and it's like, I put that recipe. I didn't know the recipe, so I created it out of my memory. So there's so many stories which I followed, in which I talk about the abundance of open hearts and open kitchens and open fires. Like, even in the scarcity, they have no fears of sharing. This is something which was so beautiful, what I experienced.
It's so different, unfortunately, than the American way of life, because we're all go-getters and pushers, and almost it's so nice to just sit back and to see that you can there's one loaf of bread, you can cut that and share that with so many different people. And I feel like that's the whole message behind your book, is sharing whatever it is that you have.
And then I have a publisher, Lake Isle Press. When I spoke to them about the idea, they were like, we have to do full justice to it. And I said, of course it would be. So doing a 450-page book on Himalayan cooking doesn't seem to be so much because when the food is not so known, I said, we've got to give it a wholehearted tribute. If you love something, you've got to go for it and stand up for it. And I said, I loved it, and I owe all these people for all what they did to me.
That's so great. And honestly, people want to feel that culture. Even here in America, we have that hustle, but we want to take a step back. We want to be able to feel that, experience that. It's so nice that we're going to be able to read that and live vicariously through you. So thank you.
My pleasure, absolutely.